Welcome back to Inside BJJ. We are fresh and back from Las Vegas. Vegas, baby. What a bonanza weekend that was. Pretty wild stuff. We want to catch you up with it. But before we do anything, we are joined on the line right now with a newcomer to ADCC. He made his 2024 entry and PGF 6 veteran. We're glad to have him on the show. We'd like to welcome Max Hanson. Hey, Max, how you doing, bud?
Hey, guys. What's going on? It's good to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's great to have you, dude. I know we kind of went back and forth a little bit trying to get you in, and I thank you for jumping on. I know it's like 10 o'clock back your time, but it looks like you just got done training maybe.
Yeah, I just stopped at the gas station coming home from the gym, but it's all good, man.
Hey, how soon did you get back to training after ADCC?
Honestly, I mean, pretty soon. Like, it depends what you describe as training, right? We're not back, like, on the full schedule. We're like, training, like, 3 times a day, but it always feels good just to get right back, like, into the training room, whether it's just, like, open mat or training with the students, bro. So if you count that as training, then the first day, basically, we're back in the room.
Walk us through your match against Jonatas Gracie. You know, it was a match that you lost on points. There was a lot of stand-up going on in the match. It looked good. Walk us through your thoughts on that match.
Yeah, so basically my strategy going in against Jonatas, I was thinking that I wanted to stand for him for the first 5 minutes. Because I've seen that he puts a very, like, dude, he puts pressure on people's guards, whether it's like Nicky Ryan or I remember when he fought Oliver Taza, he was just passing his guard left and right. And so I was thinking, the longer I stay in my butt, like if I give him that whole first 5 minutes where he can't even score, he can't come up for sweeps, nothing, it wouldn't even matter. So you're giving him that time to kind of figure out. So I was like, I'm going to try to stand with this guy just for a little bit, you know, just so like when we do get down, it'll be in the points period, and so I can work for sweeps right away. Honestly, I think I sat too. Oh, sorry, you go right ahead.
No, go ahead. Tell me what you were saying there.
I just think he basically shot in on a single about I think it was like 2 minutes in, maybe even a little less. And I decided just to pull from there. I think I should have just remained standing and maintained that game plan. I think that was one big mistake. But sorry, you go ahead, man.
When you decided to do that, is it just like a spur of the moment decision that happens, even though you have a game plan? Were you seeing things in the previous 2 minutes that made you feel like, you know what, I'm going to go for this early, or was it just like a pure reactive move?
Yeah, I think it was more reactive, man. Like, because from what I was seeing on the feet, honestly, he had like very strong hands. Like, he wasn't overly strong. He had like a good grip. And that was the only thing I really noticed. He wasn't doing any setups that I haven't seen before. Because, bro, I'm training in Ohio with dudes like, I mean, Dante's a very good wrestler, Dante Leon, and this kid, Joey Blaze, who comes in all the time. Like, dude, this kid's a crazy wrestler. So seeing the setups these kind of guys go for wasn't, like, I was like, okay, this guy's not, like, nothing crazy. It's just I feel like I rely too much on my guard. So when he grabbed my leg, I was like, fuck, can I swear?
Yeah, man, okay. You say whatever you want to.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I can do here.
You just did, dog.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. No, all right. So yeah, I was like, fuck it. I'll just fucking pull guard. Just because, man, like when you have a good guard, you're like, yeah, I'll just fucking, I'll just sit down and fucking do this. But I think that was a big mistake. I'm just not used to wrestling in competition yet. I'm so used to using my guard, but I feel like I have the wrestling for sure.
Do you have a wrestling background?
No, dude, I'm from Canada. Like, no, dude,
Canada.
Dude, we do not have a wrestling background. I remember, dude, my wrestling team in high school was run by this chick who would wrestle just like a few matches in high school. She was like a TA, and then there was like 2 big kids, another girl, and then like 3 other kids. It was like a 6-person team. Dude, I didn't know the high schools here are out of this world, bro. It's fucking crazy, like, the high-level training gyms you get in America with even at high schools, man, blows my mind. So no, I'm not. No, I don't got a background, bro. No way.
So I mean, how did you feel about his wrestling? You said his setups were not anything that you had seen before. What about What about his ability to apply top pressure? That's something we've seen out of him a lot lately. How did you feel in that position when he was trying to pass and that whole game?
Honestly, early on, he was being very smart about it. Like this is the thing. He was staying back, but putting on decent pressure, but not like over fatiguing himself. Because obviously, that you always have to think about the points per ADCC. Like, how much am I really willing to sacrifice here to get whatever I want? And so he was doing a good job of just doing enough where he could put pressure on me and avoid danger. There was one time where I was able to come up on a leg and like get him on his ass, but he did a good job scrambling and getting back to the feet. But once the points period came on, dude, this dude's pressure was very good. He was doing good side to side stuff. He was always controlling the legs, throwing them by when I was trying to move them in front. Like, and then I remember he was able to get me to a front headlock position. And the best thing he did, dude, he switched over to my back where you like punch the left hand behind the tricep. Basically, had
Yeah.
my head. Dude, he did that very quickly, and so once he was on like a chest to back situation, he was very tight from there, very tight.
It kind of seems like a lot, and I saw this at ADCC this year quite a bit, where in the first 5 minutes, especially in the passing sequences, guys don't really show their whole game. Like they won't open it
Yeah,
up if there's no points available. Once the points hits, you'll start to see them really turn passing on and actually try to follow up and get the pass. In the first five, it almost seems like they'll take an easy one if they find it, but they won't do the cool shit. They just kind of lay low
no,
and see if you'll make a mistake, basically.
yeah, exactly. You're taking a huge risk when you're passing because you're just, dude. Cade Rotolo was touching on it. Basically, like guys like Levi, they're waiting for that great counter on you, and it's a frustrating thing to deal with. Like a lot of these IBJJF Bolo guys have this really flexible guard, and they can invert in all these positions, bro. Like you dive in and they just snatch you up, bro, and you're fucking done. So not worth.
What what was the vibe like for an athlete at ADCC, knowing that across town there was this other event and there's all this other tension and heat, and
Oh,
also,
dude, yeah,
I mean, like,
dude.
what was that like? Kind of deal from your perspective. I saw it like reporting on it and talking to spectators, but you were in it, man. So, like, tell me how that felt.
Dude, it was like it's kind of weird. Like I felt like everyone who was an ADCC athlete, that like no one was trying to talk about it too much. You know what I mean? Like I think they were trying to stay focused on the event and all this stuff. Maybe not to like diminish the value of their own event or stuff like this. It just felt weird because like you would pull up the CGI and be like, damn, bro, you got like 120K people watching. So you're right away you're very impressed how that event's being run. So you're kind of like doing these comparisons in your head of what's happening. And again, I'm not trying to pick sides at all. I think both of them are very good for jiu-jitsu. I think a lot of people have taken this and they're turning into like this talk. I hate that it's this toxic feud
Yeah.
uh, between two promoters because really it is actually awesome on both sides because it gets more eyes towards the towards the sport through like people who don't train maybe as intensely as some other people. Like if you're in a jiu-jitsu gym, I bet you've probably heard of CJI at this point because of like the drama and all this. It's like a good thing. It's like you get all this money going to the athletes. You get more eyes on the sport when it comes to sponsors on both sides for ADCC and CGI. And then there's like, yeah, there's this feud, but dude, I don't know. I think it grows the sport, man. Like I wish it could be a little more chill because there's been so many line crossing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish we were all trying to bring each other up because in this sport, a lot of athletes know, bro. It's hard to like, it's hard to make it in this sport, even make a living. A lot of guys have jobs on the
Yeah.
sides and all this shit. So, for me, I think it's a good thing for the sport overall. I'm not trying to like beef at all with anyone about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think you make a really good point in that lines have been crossed, but the athletes, well, some athletes, but a majority of the athletes have not crossed any of those lines. You guys are just doing
Yeah.
what you're always doing. If you get invited to a big show and you could do it, you're going to almost 100% say yes and go do it. And if another show pops up and someone else gets invited to that show, okay, but it doesn't mean that like you're part of that side's gang now. Like you've also crossed the line with them and you stand with them.
Yeah.
that's the part that both organizations need to be really, really careful that they don't polarize the athletes, because those organizations
That's
exist
a good point. Yeah.
because of the athletes. Without the athletes, there's nobody showing up. There's nothing going on. So as long as the athletes are treated well and you guys are not sucked into it, I could see it being a really powerful thing for jiu-jitsu moving forward. I mean, 2 dudes made $1 million
Yeah,
doing
dude, unreal,
jiu-jitsu.
bro. So much money for jiu-jitsu, man. Just an unreal amount. I will say that is an unreal amount for a jiu-jitsu athlete to make that money. Hey, who do you guys think won the match between Cade and Levi? Do you think that was a controversial decision, or what do you think about it?
Man, it was close. It definitely was a close match.
Yeah,
I it's hard. This is what I think is hard. The judges were hardly ever on the same page, it seemed like. And I think it's the first time they've had to judge jiu-jitsu as a 3-round system. And or in this case, yeah, this was Levi Cade was a 5-rounder, right? Yeah, the championship
yeah,
fight was
5
5
rounds.
rounds.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to judge. It was a very close match. I could see it going either way, but I can see how Cade got the win. But again, it depends on how they value the action. They said that they value initiation and the athlete that's pushing the pace, but in some cases they didn't. So it was kind of weird, and there were no stalling penalties, hardly any stalling penalties, and they
No,
weren't enforced like uniformly either. So
Yeah.
you
you know,
can't, dude. With the stalling penalties in a sub-only format, I honestly think they're the most useless thing because, for example, if you look at who's number one, right? I think they're a great rule format. Actually, one of the best in the sport. But the stalling call is basically you just call stalling. If the guy just keeps stalling, I guarantee you, dude, no one's getting DQ'd on a who's number one show. Can you imagine a main event like, let's just say it's Gordon and another big name, and one of the dudes is stalling? Like, dude, they're not gonna DQ the guy and basically ruin the main event. This is
yeah.
just how I feel like with the way the officiating has been done. There's never been a DQ for stalling in these sub-only events. I've never seen that, honestly. So, like, you have to actually have like a real penalty. You know, like I know EBI
You're
has like
right.
the get down and stuff. I don't know. Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. And now that you say it, I've seen people get DQ'd in ADCC. I've seen people be DQ'd in IBJJF tournaments. We see EBI or Combat Jiu-Jitsu has a get down rule. I've never seen a sub only tournament disqualify someone for stalling. It's almost like
Yeah.
a pointless penalty when you think about it. They just, maybe if they take your money or something, but they don't do that either. That's
Dude, it's
odd.
just like a polite way to be like, get fucking going, bro. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it, honestly.
Maybe they should just encourage the fans to boo. Just play like a boo soundtrack. If a guy's
Oh, they do,
stalling.
bro. they do, dude. There was a lot of booing at the CJI. It was unreal. The crowd was getting into it, bro. They were fucking getting into it. I remember when Levi pulled, bro. The whole stadium was like basically collectively like, "Fuck you, dude."
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
My favorite boo was when Craig put his pants on.
They
Dude.
booed Craig putting his pants
Dude,
on.
but when he took that shit off, I was like, bro, dog has to put some pants on, bro. Like, this is
Nah.
his
It's
shit
too
was
much.
flopping, dude. It was flopping.
It's the best way to fight.
Come on, bro. Like, as soon as you pull it down, you see that motherfucker fling it, and you're like, all right, this is too much, bro.
I agree with you. It is too much, man.
So I can't do that at the gym.
No,
Okay.
you
No,
gotta wear
no.
shorts over that, man.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Oh.
To you. Out of both events, what stood out to you as a positive? Like, what did you like about ADCC? What did you like about CJI?
Honestly, bro, like, I seen some people, like, when I looked at it when it was, like, both events at their peak, when, like, the biggest fights are happening, both stadiums are packed, honestly. I seen some photos on one side being like, this stadium's empty, and then photos on the other
Yeah.
like, oh, this one's empty. But if you were there, bro, for some of the earlier fights in CGI, the stadium was not packed at all. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They're still selling tickets the day of. But when it came down to it, like, once the finals of everything happened, dude, the stadiums, both of them, fucking packed. Massive crowd. both crowds getting very into it. Dude, you should have heard the crowd pop when Pixley fucking tossed Eric Allen. I was unreal, bro. Dude, the crazy environment when Dante tapped Mika, both again, crazy environment for both. It's just so. Again, that's what I'm saying. I wish there wasn't so much of a feud because that's like you don't want to breed that toxicity and you show. I'm not trying to sound cliche, but there's a lot of up and coming athletes from like honestly from very young ages who are just like they look up to these athletes and then they grow up to be like little cunts because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right, man.
People act like cunts.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not trying to preach or nothing, but that's all I'm saying.
No, I mean, you're
Fully
right.
agree.
And that's actually something I like about wrestling culture is while there is some douchiness in it, they stomp a lot of that out. There's not a lot of showboating. There's not a lot of acting out. There's a lot of working hard, taking your win or loss, shaking hands, and getting back in the gym. And that's a better example for the young athletes than, you got to fucking posture up on somebody when you're 8 years old. I don't want to see your 8-year-old Instagram. I don't want to see you spiking kids on their heads and flexing and all. I don't want to see your 8-year-old mohawk. Get out of here with that shit,
dude,
man.
I'm not naming names, but I've seen some like 9-year-olds and stuff like, dude, making hand gestures and like puffing up to like the coaches who are like current adult world champions. You're like, bro, what are you doing? Like this guy, that guy could punt you across the stadium. It's like, why are you fucking squaring off on him? It's crazy, bro.
I feel like you should be able to slap a kid if they pop off to you like that. Just a quick tap, just hard enough that they know they've been slapped.
Set the tone.
Dude, this guy who was literally a current adult world champion, he was just sitting in his chair, just eating the fucking shit talk from the kid. I don't know if you could let him like, dude, if you fucking punch that kid in the face, I might maybe not punch him, but fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's just like unreal, dude. It's unreal.
Hey, Max, what's coming up next for you, man?
All right, so I got basically IBJJF Atlanta Open. I want to start doing the IBJJF Open, so I got that coming up next to prepare for Pans and Worlds. And after that, I got a super fight in Detroit. I think it's called House of Glory, something like that. Then a 5K tournament, ADCC rules. Then I believe, I got like 3 more things. I'm just trying to remember them. I got them all on my count. I got it lined up until December, basically, though, man. Like,
nice, man. Hey, any advice? PGF qualifiers is coming up for the 205-pound weight class in Austin this weekend, and then I think September 14th in Nashville, and then back in Vegas, September, October, and then PGF 7 is coming up in November. Having been on just coming out of season 6, what's your 30-second advice to guys going into season 7?
I honestly, dude, I would say like really prepare for this thing mentally. Like you have to be in a kill mode at all times. If I saw one thing, it was like I would say like the mentalities of different athletes led them to perform to a much higher degree than some other athletes who you thought might have done better and stuff. Like for myself, I felt like I wasn't going in taking enough risks and not like really just saying fuck it and not caring about whether you get passed or if this guy's fucking you up or you might overextend yourself and get caught just because you're going for a submission. Kind of throw that out the window because you really do need to rack up the submissions for this rule set. And honestly, I don't think anyone even cares if you lose it during the regular season too, especially with all the money on the line.
Yeah,
I would say that for sure. Like, definitely do be taking risks because it's not a lot of time to get a submission, especially for the bigger guys. I would say definitely don't just be standing there and wrestling the whole time because you might be able to do some cool things, but you guys ain't going to submit each other unless you go for a flying armbar, which at this weight class is less common than at our weight class. Or
yeah.
Weight class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say for the big boys just to fucking, just honestly, you got to throw it out the window and just go for it, man.
You got to fight like a small guy. You got to get after it.
Yeah, no, you truly can't. Don't be wrestling, dude. Don't be wrestling. That's what I say for sure. Because 5 minutes, dude, no one's getting tired.
That's your new BJJ Fanatics instructional. Don't be wrestling.
No, dude, sub only. I don't understand it. Dude, guys will be standing for 10 minutes in a sub only and that goes to EBI. It's like, all right, so are you on overtime then? Like,
It
you
makes
wanna
no
go to
sense.
overtime.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's stupid.
yeah, people shit on Mikey for pulling in sub only events and shit, but he fucking he has a
submits
good point.
people.
Like, yeah, he submits people. It's like, you got to get to the action, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you got to play guard. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me, bro.
No, man, that's a good point. Max, I know we're up against it, man. Thank you for jumping on late with us. I really appreciate you getting over. And best of luck to you, man. We'd love to get you back on soon.
For sure. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, shout out your Instagram for everybody real quick.
Yeah, tell our followers where they can find you.
All right, Max Hanson, BJJ. So MaxHanson, BJJ.
Awesome.
Easy enough, man. Hey, thanks, brother. Safe travels.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you, guys.
All right,
have a good night.
Bye.
Too.
What a cool dude. Let's get through these comments real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had to go. I knew he had 20 minutes, so I didn't want to run them all in.
Yeah.
Egghead Warrior says, Vegas, baby. Hell yeah, man. We had a great time with you, Egg. And he also said, or they could put the staller in a disadvantageous. I cannot pronounce that word.
You smell toast?
Say that? Toast?
Yeah, I do. Position.
Disadvantageous position. Yeah, kind of like they do at EBI, similar. Libby says, I was booing from home when Craig put his pants on.
I said thank you to that. Yeah, me too. Take your pants off.
Yeah. And then he says Stockton slaps for all them kids. Listen, the big MF will slap a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I've seen him do it.
He should.
He covertly will slap kids, dude. He'll pop them. He'll just pop them and like where somebody can't see, the kid doesn't even know what's coming, and it's like crack.
Oh,
yeah, he's a bad man.
We got
Alex Harrington.
Yep.
Oh yeah, said I switched over to YouTube. LOL.
He's on Instagram. I'm keeping an eye on that for anybody who's interested. He said, "Ooh, definitely want to come to that Nashville qualifier."
Hey, September 14th. It's at One Nation Jiu-Jitsu.
We love those guys.
Alex also said, F them kids, bro. I know,
F
dude.
them kids.
Look, man, I ain't taking no shit from a 9-year-old.
Me either.
Straight away, man. Like,
I had a mohawk for longer than you've been alive. I'll suplex you in front of your mother.
Here's my policy. I'm not taking shit from anyone that doesn't buy their own toilet paper. If you don't pay for what you use to wipe your ass, shut the fuck up.
So kids and old people.
Yeah.
You don't take shit from the easiest people to hit.
I'm just saying.
It's pretty hard, dude.
Exactly.
You're a hard man.
I'm saying there's a lot of dudes that are living on Easy Street, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here with your advice.
Shaman Chris says, I got $100 for Andrew to flying armbar some poor soul.
Well, I think you could do it if we did jiu-jitsu on those jump zone trampolines. Like, have you ever seen these big trampoline places? They should have the big boys fight on those trampolines because they could do the best flying subs. They have so much weight to get that bounce. They could go flying, dude. We can get those, like, Olympic coil springs, tighten them bitches up.
I'm getting excited. Because when I do
you're going to Craig Jones it? You going to take your pants off?
Can I?
You going to flop a lot?
Yeah. Well, no, but not me personally, but I'll take them off.
Libby says, I don't make enough to put up with people regardless of their age.
Oh, there's an update, 200 for Andrew to flying armbar a preteen.
Hey, a preteen.
Yeah. I would. I don't care. I don't care about your fucking kids.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's funny.
All right, let's keep this go. Oh, that was not Duck Dynasty. Nice.
Max was cool shit, man.
Yeah. Oh, I know. He's a good dude, man. He got into it a little bit with.
I totally forgot he was Canadian. He said,
"Yeah, I did too."
It's like, as soon as he said, "Can I say fuck?" Yeah, I knew it was coming.
He's like, "Can I say you can say take off, eh?" I should have had him say that.
Take off, eh?
Yeah.
He told you to fucking give your balls a tug.
Take off, eh? I think he got into it with Daniel Sattler.
Really?
At PGF. Yeah, behind the scenes.
We talked to Sattler, didn't we?
There was some beef. Yeah. It all worked out in the end. So Good stuff. Okay, man. Let me see if we can run our Salt video.
Yeah.
I want to remind you guys
Shout those boys out.
Salt is an awesome sponsor of ours. They are the flagship sponsor for Inside BJJ, and they also were a gold sponsor for the bullpen, and they really came on as the first sponsor and really gave us a huge boost to be able to make that happen.
Absolutely. They helped out a lot.
Big time. And
these guys are awesome.
for people that don't know, like Raph and I and Kevin, you know, when this happened, when we're trying to get in, we were trying to get credentialed to go. And, you know, we didn't talk a lot about it on the show, but behind the scenes, the credentials process, we had a lot of back and forth, but ultimately they passed. Okay. So, and there's no way you're getting into ADCC with a credential. Flow grappling just monopolizes the coverage for that.
Yeah.
So Raph called me and he's like, hey, you know, we don't have credentials. They're not going to let us do our show there, but I'm thinking about maybe we just fucking go anyway and just set up a studio and go. And I was like, I'm in. Like,
pirate radio.
Let's do it. I fucking love building your own pirate ship. I think that's the best way to do it. So
if at any opportunity you can be punk rock, be punk rock.
Be punk rock. Absolutely. That should be our slogan, be
Fuck
punk
yeah.
rock. So
what would Jello be offered to?
Yeah. Yeah. So I called up Coach Casey Halstead at 10P Las Vegas. I'm like, hey, can we commandeer your gym for 3 days and set up a studio? And I think he thought we were just going to have like a little studio in the corner.
A couple laptops.
Like the whole side, like half of the mats completely like lights and cameras. And it's a real studio.
In action.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But
you sent me pictures.
Big shout out to Casey for doing that. Like,
great host.
Dude. I had a phone call with him when I arrived, and I'm like, hey, you know, I need to understand what the lockup procedure is or how you want to do it. You want someone to meet me there? Or there a certain hour? And he's like, no, man, I'm just going to give you a key to the gym. You do what you want. And I'm like, you're going to tell me about, he's like, I know you're going to take care of the gym. I know where you live.
That's a good call.
I'm like, yeah. And I was like, you know, I have your picture hanging up in my 10th Planet Stockton gym, and I really don't want to have to look at you knowing that I fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
But luckily, you live in Nashville.
Yeah, but I'm out there enough.
That's true.
So I'm like, you know, awesome. I was very militant about the mats being covered and padded. We put blankets down. We put carpet pads on top of the blankets, tennis balls on the chairs. Like, I was just like, hey, there's no way when we leave here, Casey's not going to walk in here and the first thing he sees is a bunch of indentations on his mats.
That's
it's
great.
Just fucking not going to happen.
Good for you.
Yeah, because
I'll say,
I know how I would feel.
Oh yeah. Well, and how I feel is like, for what it's worth, I'm one of your students, and I'm a friend of yours, and I would fight for you, but I'm not fighting Casey. That's stupid.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not trying to. Yeah, exactly. And you know, those kinds of things will come out of a mat over time.
Yeah.
But I just like, I don't want to do that, man.
Yeah, I remember when they were placing some stuff here for Liz's thing. And that went out the next day. It was no biggie.
So
Salt doing that for you guys is awesome.
Yeah. So Salt did a great thing. So we want to shout them out. If you need salt, and believe me, you do, especially if you're taking some other sugary. See, this is how shit works, man. When Jamba Juice first came out, everyone was like, "Oh, Jamba Juice! It's fruit smoothies. It's so healthy." And then over time, everyone realized, "Oh, it's a bunch of sugar."
Oh, 60 grams of sugar a serving.
Yeah, and so a lot of these hydration things come out originally, like, you know, and they're like, "Oh, this is hydration thing. It's so good. It's good for you. Oh, it's great." And then later you find out, "Oh, it's all sugar." Well, you know, salt by definition is not sugar.
Correct. It's the opposite, in fact.
It's the opposite, yeah. So Salt Electrolytes, they have a great energy drink. We drank it the entire time in Las Vegas. It was a hot, hydration, 105 degrees the entire time, and that kept us going, man. So thank you guys very much. We're going to run their commercial.
Being able to complete the climb to mastery requires the proper nutrition. This is why it's important to take in a potent blend of electrolytes that is in tune with your output and brings strength to your goals. This potent blend is only found in Salt Electrolytes. Salt targets your depleted electrolyte levels with a boost of hydration and health. It gives your body the baseline recovery it needs.
And we're back. So make sure you earn your salt. If you go to saltelectrolytes.com, use the discount code INSIDEBJJ15. save 15% on.
Sick. Try the mango. It's delicious.
Dude, I'm still hooked on lemon lime.
Are you?
I shotgunned one of those babies.
Shotgun to lemon lime?
I just ripped it open and
You dry pack that some bitch?
I dry packed it, and let me tell you, dude.
Raw dog to salt?
I raw dogged a salt. It should be the salt raw dog challenge, and maybe this isn't not how
I'm not doing
Salt
that.
wants me to promote their
No,
product.
the ad's over. We're just talking about you being stupid now.
But I was just like, I just wanted to do it for show.
Mhm.
I'm like, I need it so bad. I don't have time to mix it in water, and I ripped it off, and I just fucking and it was strong.
I bet you.
But once I got it down, I felt like I got a B12 shot. I was like, yeah, let's go, baby.
I think you're just dumb.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Well, I got addicted to Tang. I know that doesn't sound right. Who's not, right? I got addicted to Tang when I was
I'm with you now. I know
kid.
what you're talking about. Okay. You mean the one with the orangutan on it?
Do you remember Tang?
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't Tang. It was Country Time Lemonade. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember both.
So
I had both in the house.
my parents, my dad's a pastor of a small church, right? And always has been my whole life, still is. And when my mom, when she was alive, was also very active. The whole family was. We were hardcore religious. And so we used to do these meetings, these church meetings. We'd have a bunch of people over, and we would serve food, and we would always serve lemonade to drink. Because we'd feed like 250 people at these things. And my parents would buy these big giant cans, like these industrial sized cans of Country Time lemonade, the powder.
The giant Costco,
that you
like
would-
the number 10 cans?
Yes, that you
Oh
would
my
mix.
God.
And
How much sugar's in that?
a lot.
Mostly sugar.
And whatever we didn't use, we'd bring home.
Yeah.
And I just got in the habit of just raw
Oh,
dogging it.
motherfucker, you told me this. Ugh.
And I raw dogged an entire can of lemonade over the summer.
Oh, my God.
And I just, like, the inside of my mouth was raw, dude. It was
Yeah, I
so.
bet.
And I remember looking out this little window, and my parents, there was a door that went into their den, and I was looking out of the window. My mouth was all raw, and I was eating it anyway. And I'm like, I guess this is what addiction is like.
Yeah, a little 9-year-old meth head.
Yeah,
On
I'm like,
Country Time Lemonade.
This is how people get hooked. I
I'm
can
mildly
see it now.
disgusted with you right
Yeah.
now. That's gross, dude.
Gross, but worth it.
Not worth it.
Worth
I
it
think
to
you're
me.
justifying your ridiculous behavior.
Maybe that's why I can't have spice now. Maybe I just blasted my palate too far to one side.
And you can't have spice?
Like, if I have real spicy, I can have it. It doesn't
Yeah.
like make me sick, but
Like, you're allowed to.
it makes my face just sweat like crazy, crazy.
I don't think that has anything to do with you dry swallowing friggin'.
Well, I'm saying maybe it jacked up my taste buds. Like, it just like zapped them, fucked them up. And now when I eat like spicy things, it's
Yeah,
like,
I think
what?
it fucked you up. I just don't think it. I don't think it did what you,
You think
it
it
did.
fucked my brain up?
Yeah, I might have melted that.
That's not very nice.
I'm not very nice.
Hey, I want to let you guys know, if you want to check out the coverage that we did at the bullpen over the weekend, you can go to Inside BJJ YouTube channel and check it out, or you can also get the full cover. Yeah, I did. I wanted to be an astronaut. You got it. Or you can go to youtube.com/grappling hour. And we did 28 hours of broadcasting. It's all there. 250,000 minutes viewed of the broadcast, which is pretty dope.
That's sick.
It's pretty amazing.
Good for you guys.
Listen, Craig Jones did like almost 3.5 million
He's
views.
also Craig Jones.
Well, I'm saying that pulled us up. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Like, that is a percentage of that.
Mm.
So that gives us a number now that we never had before. Now we have an actual number. We have the PGF numbers, but that was co-promoted.
Sure.
This was completely independent.
Mm.
This was with no help from Craig Jones, no help from ADCC. No, not, there's no like animosity. There's nothing like that. I'm not saying that. It was just, hey, we don't even know what the fuck you guys do. That's the thing, is people don't understand it till they see it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's what you're doing. But when you try to explain it to somebody, because this show doesn't exist in jiu-jitsu right now, they don't get it. You have to do it.
Yeah,
and you
no
have to
frame
show
of
'em.
reference. Yeah, until it actually happens.
No frame of reference.
Yeah.
Great way to put it. So yeah, we had a great time there. Anyway,
It sounded, we were texting a little bit throughout. I was at work and you were obviously working, but it sounded like you were busting hump out there, dude.
all day. I got probably 5 hours of sleep a night.
I
Yeah,
betcha.
because we'd work. We got up. You had to set the studio up the first day, which took quite a while, and you had to prep the show because you actually have to do a show. You have to get the topics, you have to create the graphics. We're doing everything.
Yeah.
We had a great team. Like we had several people. We had Raph, myself, and Kevin were kind of anchoring it, but then we had Isaac, the wandering grappler, who was helping to direct and film.
That dude's sick.
We had Egghead Warrior, who is like an all-star player in that he can fill all the positions, which was great.
He's a great dude.
And the thing I love about Egg is he'll do whatever, dude. Like if he's not like doing camera work, or if he's not giving you numbers, or if he's not doing an interview, he'll be like, you guys need to pick something up. He'll go get coffee. He's just the fucking man, dude. And so he was awesome to work with. We had Rob, who is a friend of Raf's, do producing for us on day one. Awesome. Brought up a bunch of equipment, super helpful. And then we had Ben Voigt, who I actually don't know where Ben came from, but he's like, for you guys don't know Michelle. He's a student in Nashville who just showed up. A lot of people, like the first time they come, they're not like accepted into the family. And I don't mean that in a terrible way. I just mean it's their first time.
Not everybody clicks immediately.
No. And a lot of people come once and they just try it one time. They don't come back. The first time this dude walked in, like in 10 minutes, he was part of the crew.
Yeah, I was like, you're my buddy.
He was immediately, we're like, oh, yeah, you're one of us.
This dude's cool.
You're one of us. You just didn't know.
You're also psycho.
You must have got adopted out of the family early, and we found you.
We found you.
Fuck yeah, welcome home.
So that was Ben for the trip?
That was Ben.
Nice.
And the first day he was dressed like Adam Sandler with like basketball shorts and a T-shirt.
Sick.
The second day he rolled in a suit. Just for the walk-in to the studio.
Bet you just to give you guys like, this is what a glow up looks like.
Yes, dude. Then he called out Kevin. Ben's been training jiu-jitsu for 5 months. He's totally new to this whole scene. And he called out Kevin and did a live match on the show with him. And we filmed it and got it, dude. It was so great.
I love this guy. That's amazing.
Kevin is a red-ass black belt I think he's black. Brown or black?
Yeah.
I think he's a black belt.
He's savage one way or another.
He's a savage. He whooped my ass. Yeah. And he just murked him, dude, with no mercy. Just pushed his shit in, dude. Like, it was so fantastic, dude.
Kevin's a man.
There's a dude at Casey's gym named V, who shout out to V because he is a stud, man. V was kind of like our handler for the gym. Just anything we needed, he was there the whole time. Super helpful, never complained, on the spot. And V was in the back working, doing some shit. And when he caught wind that there was going to be a match, dude, he dressed up, bam, put his uniform on, rash guard, spats, started getting Ben warmed up, was giving him corner talk. Dude, we got it on the camera. It was so great. Dude.
How if he said, how did he feel about coaching a 5-month white belt?
After Ben lost, V just walked into the back.
He's like, I got to go do work.
He's bounced out on him.
Whatever, dude.
He didn't lick his wounds or nothing. He's like, I'm out. So anyway, you could catch all that cool shit. We did so much cool stuff. We had Egg, and we went to ADCC on day one, right as it had about an hour to go, and it was right as Craig Jones was going to start. There was a tiny bit of overlap on those days, and we just had Egg. Oh, he's a brown belt, but he's also a D1 wrestler. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah,
he's really good.
By the way, he's a D1 wrestler.
He's very good. Yeah. And we had Egg and Isaac go out. They drove me out. I picked up a bunch of interviews because there was like a mass exodus of people leaving ADCC to go to Craig Jones. Mm-hmm. Most people that we talked to were going to both. There were a few people that went to CJI that were like, fuck ADCC, we're not going. But
sure.
Most people went to both. There was a mass exodus to go to Craig Jones when that event was going to start. Like half the arena emptied out. So we caught a bunch of interviews. Maybe I can load one up in a second and show you what it looked like. But Egg, we had to make a sign that said free rides to CJI.
I love this idea, by the way.
And I think this was Egg's idea. It's a great idea. And of course, someone took him up on it because there was like 70 people in the Uber line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was crazy. It was so busy. T-Mobile's right on the strip. So we got that on film. That was great. I caught a lot of action at ADCC.
Well, finish the thought on that. Like, you had that sign and you did that for what?
Oh, so
because the idea is amazing.
Yeah, so we got him in the car, asked him questions, gave some prize giveaways, like played that game.
There's random ass people that want to go to CJI. You just decide to interview them. Like, hey, what are you up to?
We put a camera on him, jumped him in the car, and like ran him over, dude.
It's funny.
It really was funny. Got a lot of footage at ADCC. You know, we had to. The thing is, we had to sneak everything in, and I don't know if people realize this. Let's get some comments up here real quick. Somebody said, Egghead said, apparently Casey knows where Tim lives. It was mentioned many times. Yeah, it was. I made sure that everybody fucking knew that's the way it was going to be. Could you put a link in the chatter notes? I want to buy salt for the wife and myself. Oh yeah, I'll put that up. You want to? It's salt. Let me. I'm going to get that right now. saltelectrolytes.com.
Astro Ninja says Tim's the only man to beat Gordon.
Beat him at what? I don't even know if I could beat him at Rochambeau.
Chris said taxi cab confessional style.
Yeah, exactly. I just put the code in. I just put that link in to the chat. It's probably going to go to the YouTube chat. Discount code is inside BJJ15.
Instagram as well.
Thank you. And then Libby says Strawberry Surf Rider was my shit. Yeah, that was the stuff he was drinking. Strawberry's gross. Addicted to Tang sounds like okay, all right. Independent, yes, we are independent. That's for sure. Did the whole thing independent, which was dope. So we caught a lot of action, got a lot of interviews. The challenge was that because we weren't credentialed, we had to sneak everything in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we had to play the game. And we're not going. This is the thing these guys got to understand. We're not going to film the matches and put it out on the internet.
Yeah.
That's not the jam, dude. Like, we're here to promote these events because we love jiu-jitsu. And specifically, Raph and I have been doing this for over a decade.
Yeah.
I was at the first Metamoris, the first EBI, the first World Jiu-Jitsu Expo. Like, I did play-by-play for that. So both of us have been out in the jiu-jitsu world for the last 12 years doing this, interviewing guys, talking to people. A lot of the names that are bigger now were smaller then, and they were a lot easier to get to, a lot easier to talk to.
Yeah.
So I think that's the part that the promoters have to understand. It's like, we're not going to steal footage. We're not going to, like,
pirate a movie.
We're going to
talk the movie up.
Fucking cover this thing in a way that nobody else is covering it. Nobody has a pre-show like we do. Nobody sends out correspondence. Nobody's doing live spots. Nobody's giving free rides to CJI and filming it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not yet.
So you know, that was a challenge to do. We figured it out. Credit to Raph, because the Clayton Ream says, Tim, you're the man for the people. Well, thank you very much. I cannot be a politician. I have I don't really have skeletons in my closet, but I'm too goddamn weird, man. Somebody said both events had fire matches and crazy outcomes. Peak Jiu-Jitsu.
For sure.
Agreed.
Fully
Jason
agree.
Perez. Appreciate that. And then Clayton, it was free on YouTube. Why did it?
Yeah.
I guess. Well, today or yesterday, maybe last night, Craig shared something on his Instagram story where he's going after people that are putting the full matches from CJI up.
Well, that I get. Full matches I get, because that's what he's advertising. But like you said, what you're doing is talking the whole thing up.
Yeah, that's all we're doing.
You're getting more. I mean, the more that those get built up, the more people might come to you, and vice versa.
The whole idea of a pre-show is to generate interest, to push people to the show.
Yeah.
It's just an onboard. It's an easy onboard. We would love if people watch the whole pre-show, but the reality is people come in at the beginning, 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, right at the end. It's like when you watch a pre-show for the UFC. Sometimes you watch the whole thing. Sometimes you only get in front of the TV 10 minutes before, and you're like, well, it's a pre-show. Let's watch this, and then it's going to go into the event.
And to be fair, if you have guys that are like you guys or like us or shows like this that are really stoked about what's going on in jiu-jitsu and just a fan of all of it happening, then you're going to get some contextualization in that pre-show that'll make you even more excited about what you're about to watch.
Yeah. Agreed. So I think in that regard, that's just where we need people who like this to tag these promoters and let them know, like, you guys need to have these guys here doing it. That's what the PGF does. They have us on site building what they're doing.
Yeah,
and it works well.
Yeah, and you guys aren't like trying to lift matches from them just to
Hell
pop
no.
a view count. It's like, no, do you guys? This is so fucking cool.
Yeah, no.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I know. Basically, we're just like,
are you seeing this?
I know. Fucking A. But massive credit to Raph. He had like 3 different configurations for based on what we think we could get in to the arena.
Yeah, you guys got sneaky.
Oh yeah, we had to.
You guys got sneaky.
We got real sneaky, and sneaky enough that we got the job
It's
done.
like y'all were trying to beat a drug test.
Yeah, had to do that before too. Only the good drugs, kids. But it was tricky. The nice thing is a lot of these tools now are built to be small and mobile and compact. But we had canaries that went out ahead of time and went into the events. Clayton said I would have used my prison pocket.
That was my first idea.
Listen, you would have, but then I would have been reluctant to use that microphone, my man.
Powerful.
Just putting it up in people's face. You catch a whiff of that? I don't know.
Hey, this mic smells kind of fucked up.
I was actually going to do this. Tim was going to smuggle stuff by hiding it in his hat. I was like, I bet I could put a fucking camera up here.
I bet you, the old spy cameras.
Yeah.
You have to wear like one of those fucking pork pie hats though.
Big old fedora.
Yeah, like you're a 40s fucking investigator.
Big old sombrero.
Beat it, toots. I'm on the way to a match.
And a top hat. Going there looking like Abraham Lincoln.
Exactly what you're wearing, just with a weird ass top hat.
So, yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
Well, I was kind of dressed odd anyway, so Clayton
Chris said you'd be the Keister Bunny.
The Keister Bunny, thanks. Is that Farmer, Chris? Yeah. Thanks, Chris. I brought in snacks and all the we. I think I understand what he's saying. Shout out to Clayton. It was good catching up with him at the event. That was cool.
All those savages from BA were out there, weren't they?
Yeah, I got a chance to sit down with Clay. I actually interviewed him for
again.
A little bit. Yeah, on the scene in the arena. That was cool.
Powerful.
Yeah, it was always the Broken Anvil crew is a really great crew, man.
I love those guys.
We have a really great connection with them, and that's
you guys are.
Clayton put illicit things. I got what you were laying down, man. We have a good relationship, and I really appreciate that. We're on the same wavelength when it comes to training and jiu-jitsu. And
those guys and gals are rad.
You know, it's weird. Jiu-jitsu's too important in my life to make it so important, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I want to do this all the time, and I want to really enjoy the people I'm around. So I don't want to make it so fucking serious that I can't like cross train and be friends with people and enjoy it. It's crazy to take it any other way.
Yeah. Well, it'd be hypocritical of you too if you did that, but then still thought what you do about, the divide between ADCC and CJI and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you and Max were talking about, if we get one-sided about one or the other and we just pick sides, then it's never going to work. You're going to fracture before we can actually all make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same thing at a local level. Why are you beefing with this other gym? We're all really rare because we do this. We're all cool with each other. We should be cool with each other.
10th Planet are the homies. We love you guys. We love you guys too, man. It's a match made in heaven.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Or hell yeah.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah.
Jason Perez says 100, 100, 100. That's right, man. That's the way we're rolling out here in Nashville, baby.
That's right. Goddamn right.
And Stockton too, to be honest with you. I got to see the Stockton homies too, which is great, man.
They came out?
Yeah, dude.
Sweet.
I got to see Dennis. I got to give Dennis Williams a big hug.
That's awesome.
I love that guy, man. He's a fucking soldier, dude. Dennis is Dennis. If I call Dennis in the middle of the night and I'm like, I got bodies, he's like, I'm bringing the shovels.
He's like, I got shovels.
Yep. He's a solid dude. Mike Perez was out again, man. Just fucking G's, dude. Just lieutenants, man.
I can't wait to meet Dennis.
Reliable.
I'm stoked. I love Mike. He's awesome.
I got to see the Mexican brothers. I call them Jose and Aiden. These guys are freaking great blue belts, dude. Super super baked into that morning 6 a.m. assassin squad, just
Awesome.
savages, dude.
Awesome.
Juan and his wife Angie were there again, just fucking hardcore, man. It was awesome.
That's cool. I'm glad you had homies out there.
Yeah, it was great to see him. I got to see my buddy Dave Sands, who runs the Food Origins podcast, which is a great podcast. This guy's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, freaking great cook, chef, trained. During COVID, we would just like do FaceTimes with each other, and he'd teach me how to cook shit. It was
That's awesome.
He taught me how to cook, dude. There's a place in San Francisco called Jackson Fillmore. It's a restaurant, and it's just a little tiny restaurant. It's not big. It's an Italian place, and they make everything there. And it's so damn good. They
Really?
have a particular meal that is like that would be my last meal if you could have a last meal.
Really?
It's so good, man. It's just maybe it's not for everybody, but for me, it's the best, dude.
What is it?
Like it's called chicken gnocchi. It is a sauce that's made out of cream and white wine with some walnuts, and it's got like such a mushrooms. It's got such a good flavor to it.
Is the chicken itself in the gnocchi, or is it with it?
So it's not that kind of gnocchi that you're thinking.
Okay.
The little dough thing.
Mhm.
This is a pasta. The gnocchi is the name of the sauce, or
Okay.
gnocchi is the name of the
Gotcha.
sauce.
And he taught you how to make that?
Well, we've gone there together before, I think a couple times. And Stella and I have been there several times just to go, because if we were over there, we would go. That was like the spot.
One of those, like, your personal Michelin, if we're even near there,
Yes,
we're going?
we're
Gotcha.
going. Hard to get in, but we found out that if you just show the fuck up, you had a good chance of just sliding in. If you call for a reservation, it's like, good luck,
Not gonna happen,
you know?
yeah.
But he learned how to make it by going, and he kind of asked the guy the recipe, and the guy kind of hawed around, told him a little bit. And then the way this place is set up is you can go to the bathroom and like actually like stand there and look into the kitchen and watch
Oh, like
him cook.
skulls down here?
Yeah, even more
Really?
like easy, way smaller, like less than half the size of skulls.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's very small.
Wow.
Maybe that width too. That like,
That's
it's
crazy.
narrow and small. It's not a big spot. And so he kind of looked over the shoulder, did a little shoulder surfing, figured it out, taught me how to make it. So I got to run into Dave and his brother Mike, who is also awesome. They're both black belts. Mike is a Yamasaki black belt, trains with Clark Gracie.
Like we said last time, you don't hear about many of those.
Judo black belt, just
That's
fucking
awesome.
tough. Really good friends, really good people, just good, thoughtful, kind people. So I got to run into them. Our buddy from out here, Dr. Joe Spinell, was there. His son Jackson comes out and
Nice.
trains with us all the time.
Yeah,
Eli is the biggest 14-year-old I've ever seen in my life.
Until just now, I didn't know he was 14.
He's 14.
I guess 17, at least.
He's huge.
He's a big boy.
He's like 190 pounds.
Yeah.
And he's like a great wrestler, dude. He wins all the time. He's a
Yeah.
beast. He was there, and their little brother Joey, great family. My regret was that I didn't get to hang out with them. Everybody wanted to do dinner. They wanted to
for
hang
sure.
out, and
Yeah.
I kept telling people like, "Oh, I'm doing this thing," and I don't
Working.
think anybody understood what I was doing, to be honest with you, until they saw it, and then they're like, "Oh, that's why you're there till 1 in the morning every night."
Yeah, I gotta go make jokes on the internet.
I gotta try to be funny in a stupid suit for
Yeah.
28 hours, guys. Like, wish me luck. But we
I gotta
had a
go
great
watch
time.
Kevin detonate this 5-month white belt.
Oh yeah, Kevin was itching to train because he wasn't getting any training in. He was chopped. He was just ready, dude. He roughed that guy up.
It must have been really hard sitting on and doing the show on the mats of one of the best 10Ps and being like, man, I want it.
Oh man, because Saturday and Sunday they had open mat at 11, and like I said, we had a giant studio. So on Saturday it wasn't quite as busy, and so we just kind of worked around it, and people kind of rolled around us. But Sunday, like, if you've gone to 10th Planet Vegas and Henderson, the downtown location's different. It's a little smaller. I think probably busy during the week.
Is that also Coach Casey's?
That's also Coach Casey's.
Okay, so he's got both in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Henderson location on Sunday, it's probably twice the size as our mats, and it's packed, like corner to corner. It's it's jam-packed with people.
Mhm.
Now imagine there's a broadcast studio taking up half of the mat space. So, and all against the wall where the wall mats are, it's all of our gear bags and equipment and it's like,
Expensive things.
we're taking up a lot of space. And so Saturday night, I'm like, guys, I know you hate me because, once you set up the camera angles and the shots and the lighting and you get everything fixed, you don't want to redo that. That's
it's a
hard,
pain.
dude. That's a hassle.
It's a pain in the ass.
And I knew that was a big ask, but I'm just like, we got to take all this shit on the mat that's not being used, and we got to make it fit under that table over there. So we got to play Tetris, and then we got to take the studio and, like, condense it. So however you think we can do it, we can do it. And Raph is a really smart dude, and every once in a while, Raph's brain overloads, and he goes like, wait a minute. And he just kind of sits down, and he just, like, kind of talks to himself. It's really funny.
A beautiful minds that shit.
He goes like, yeah, he just goes into like
Sick.
he goes into a trance, and then he's like, okay, here's what we can do. And so we did it. We just sucked it all in into an even smaller, like a little peninsula that comes off the middle of the mat space, and everyone just grappled in a U around us.
Nice.
And the brilliant idea that I have to give Raph credit for is he said, what we have to do is make them feel like they're excited that we're here because they're part of it, and not make it feel like these assholes are taking up
Our mat space.
40% of our mat space and we can't roll. So before we got the show started, we put it up on, Casey's got 5 huge TVs up there. So we threw up those shows on the monitors so they could make the connection like, oh, that studio is producing that video right there. And then we put CJI on and ADCC, and we're kind of just making it a fun vibe, so it wasn't so like, ugh. And then Raph addressed everybody. It was like, hey, this is what we're doing. We're glad you guys are here. We want you to be part of the show. Feel free to grapple around us. Be careful. Because there's always some guys doing stand-up. Literally, right by these fucking monitors.
And not comedy. We're talking throwing each other.
They're just like banging, dude. Like a foot away. This is how jiu-jitsu guys are. Oh, there's black ice. You want to do some takedowns?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a floor with 1,000 spikes on it. Oh, let's do some takedowns.
Yeah, that's me. I'm throwing.
Yeah, there's raw sewage on the ground. You want to drill takedowns, bro?
Uchimatas?
Yeah. Should we do Uchis? It's like, what the
Drop
fuck,
sales?
man?
Let's get it.
What the fuck?
That's me.
It's always those guys, man.
Okay, I want to stand up. I want to throw cons.
So we had to throw Isaac as a body over there just to, like, make sure that these dudes didn't, like...
He's got to do the wall guy. Wall guy.
He had to take the hit, basically.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do, Isaac, but you can't let him knock over the
Don't
lights.
let him in.
Yeah.
Hold the door.
So we knocked that out. Another cool thing that we did was we did like a submission contest. So in between rounds, we're like, hey, everybody, get your attention. We're like, hey, if anyone gets the calf crank that Lucas Barboza got on Joseph Chin, you're going to win a prize. So when you hit it, yell bingo. Your partner's going to verify that you actually got it. And then, so we brought the dude on, gave him a gift. Then we had Andy write down one. We brought Varela on, Andy Varela, for a little bit and had him write a submission down, announced it so you could get it. So it was cool. We did some live technique demos. So when somebody did a cool technique, Kevin and I would kind of walk off to the side. We had another camera set up. We would pan to, and then we'd film the technique. And we did a bunch of cool shit that nobody's done. So
that is cool.
I'm proud of that.
I want to do the sub bingo here. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
like on a Tuesday or something.
That is actually really, and I have some shit I can give away too.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
We always got stickers.
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah. So it was a good time. I'll be talking more about it. I think show wise, I'll say this, and I don't want to dog on ADCC, and I have given them a lot of criticism, but I've also given them props for the things they did right. Both shows I think are good for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't think the line crossing is good for jiu-jitsu. I think it's really bad for jiu-jitsu. I think that the vibe at CJI was exciting and friendly and fun, and the vibe at ADCC was subdued.
It seems subdued and serious.
Serious.
Like no fun.
Don't talk about CJI.
Yeah, first 2 rules of CJI. Don't talk about it.
First 2 rules of ADCC. Don't talk about CJI.
Yeah.
So definitely I picked up on that. I only got turned down for interviews at ADCC. So CJI, everybody was happy. ADCC on the way out, several people were like, nah, I don't want to talk. And I don't know why.
Who knows?
I don't think it's like Mo's going to get me if I talk. I just think they didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Is what it is.
Is what it is. But overall, good events.
I'm interested to see CJI next year when there is no ADCC.
Yeah, I definitely think CJI got a huge bump because it was going head up against ADCC and everybody wanted to see it. And now that we've seen it, we have a big expectation. They're going to do another one. Yeah. Supposedly they're funded for it. So
I would assume so.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I'm
stoked
more.
You got to go out there. I'm hoping to get out there with one of these coming up times.
Yeah, you should, dude.
I want to.
That would be cool.
That's what I want to do.
So, Dean Lister just texted me.
I wish I could say that sentence. I love that dude. That's awesome. I've got some funny Reddit crap.
Yeah, I want to get into that.
I've been looking at some funny Reddit crap. Anyway, I've got 2 that you might like.
Dean just asked, when in November will PGF be? I'm going to give him the exact date.
Sweet. I'm going to get this first Reddit boy.
Let's see. PGF.
PGF.
205 pounds, November 24th, season 7. I think the dates are on Smooth Comp. The qualifiers are this weekend in Austin.
I am liking how much this is starting, like jiu-jitsu in general, starting to get like UFC, where it's like, I don't care what Saturday it is, you got something to watch or something to look forward to. Either quintets or you got ADCC, CGI. Well, I know that and ADCC are 2 huge events that aren't very, like every weekend or something, but there's all kinds of stuff going on in jiu-jitsu, and I'm happy about it right now. It's cool.
Yeah. Dude, as a jiu-jitsu fan, it's not just like boring shit. It's great stuff, dude. The PGF is the week of the 4th through the 9th.
You ready for this?
Yeah, hang on. Let me.
Well, I can read it to you. I want
to. Hold on. Yeah, but I want to do this real quick. I want to cut another break.
Sure.
Real quick and run another Salt commercial. Okay. Just to run it again because we love those guys, and then we'll be right back with some Reddit board banging.
Being able to complete the climb to mastery requires the proper nutrition. This is why it's important to take in a potent blend of electrolytes that is in tune with your output and brings strength to your goals. This potent blend is only found in Salt electrolytes. Salt targets your depleted electrolyte levels with a boost of hydration and health. It gives your body the baseline recovery it needs.
Back with the Reddit bang.
Let's go. So Andrew's pulled up some Reddit board nonsense for us to get over, which I love.
I've got 2 pretty good ones for you.
Okay. Give me a read.
When you key hop, and this is from r/Taekwondo, when you key hop, is it normal to just yell, ah? I found a thread from 5 years ago on the topic, and I looked through it. Not a single person said they yell, ah, which I thought was the norm.
Is he yelling, is this a Canadian and he's yelling A?
A? No, they spell that EH, not just A. From my experience, everyone develops their own key hop, and there's no wrong or right, parentheses, except maybe calling them key hop, which sounds a bit odd.
I like this one. My father says that, but only when he's practicing at home. In class, he key ops like the rest of us.
So he's a fucking. His key hops are lies.
The 90s kids all yelled "Baho," only if you were very good, of course. I've been thinking about bringing it back, maybe ordering a pair of Jinkos while I'm at it. I do the ol aya currently.
Subject to change, I guess.
My key op ranges from a low guttural ah to a full-blown R2-D2 scream.
I didn't read that comment. Gutturals for me are.
I have different key hops depending on what I'm doing. Oh, nothing like giving your shit away.
You can't give out those secrets.
I watched the Taekwondo section of the Olympics this year. I just wanted to give all the martial arts a little love. You know, when you're watching judo, you pick up on pretty quick they're trying to throw each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's pretty violent and
That's
aggressive.
the point. Yeah.
When you're watching Taekwondo, it looks like two 11-year-olds playing last tap.
Sort of.
It really does.
Sort of does.
They're just playing last tap. It's like
at
it's
the
so
Olympic
fucking weird.
level. Yeah.
You see, and I don't think there's weight classes.
There would have to be. Right?
I don't think so. I saw some real
That's
odd
nuts
sizes.
if there's not, because they're playing around with that many kicks.
They're not kicking hard, dude.
Yeah, I guess they are doing like point.
They're playing last touch.
I just don't want to believe.
No
that.
disrespect, but it was just hard to watch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid of the Olympics doing to jiu-jitsu.
This is in one of my favorite pages you've shown me, r/Aikido. Training while traveling. I've been told that there is an unwritten, quote, rule that you're expected to train when you travel whenever possible. Parentheses. Obviously, this doesn't work if you're on a cruise or in a city.
Hold on. This is what I love about martial artists.
I figured you would stop me right
They're
there.
fucking always giving some contextual clue that's unnecessary.
As if the top comment would be like, well, you're not going to train Aikido on a cruise,
What
idiot.
if you're on a cruise? What if you're in jail? What if you're on work release?
Work release.
It's like, what if you're in a scuba diving training session?
What if you died last week?
It's like, dude, we get it, motherfucker.
So obviously, this doesn't work if you're on a cruise, Tim, or in a city with no Aikido dojo. That's an issue as well.
Ooh, what city doesn't have an Aikido dojo?
It's 2024. I bet they all do.
Come on.
I'm going to Seattle next week, and I'd kind of like to train, but the damn gi takes up half my suitcase.
You mean your costume?
Your
fucking regalia?
You better hope it's October. I'm going to be gone for 10 days, and it seems hard to justify allotting 40% of my packing space. Well, originally he said half my suitcase. 40% isn't half. Packing space to an article of clothing I'll only wear for a few hours.
That's why he puts those contextual clues in.
Yeah, because technically any piece of clothing, if you're being hygienic, is only a couple hours that you're wearing them.
Yeah.
I know I don't have to train, and he actually put in the Reddit italics there, which actually takes some effort, while out of town, but I'm curious how those of you who do train while traveling manage the massive gi or costume problem.
Here's how they do it. You want to know how they do it?
How do they do it?
The same way you take a jiu-jitsu gi. You fucking crush it down and you stuff it in your bag.
They don't do that.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You fold it as small as you can get it, and you stamp it down, and you push it in there, and you pack it.
And you bring one less outfit.
What kind of luggage is this dude bringing?
For 10 days? If you're a dude, you can get a duffel bag in 10 days.
You know, like you're probably going to have to check your bag, but, you know, you're bringing how much do you love Aikido?
That's a good question.
Put it in the mail then, dude. Ship it to
If it's a rule.
If it's a rule.
You have to train while you're traveling.
You got it unless you're on a cruise.
Or
in a city.
Or that doesn't have an Aikido
dojo.
Which,
so there is a rule in Aikido. This was passed in 1973. That
by Steven Seagal.
Because he was on a cruise one time, and his sensei got really upset about it. He came back. He had a suntan. He was 30 pounds overweight. He was already 30 pounds overweight.
Yeah, so we're talking a
more
heavy
overweight.
60.
He left without hair, came back with hair.
Sprayed it back on.
Yeah, it was a cruise to Turkey. And
the food, not the country.
Yeah, the cruise to Turkey's butthole. And then, you know, his sensei was upset. And Steven Seagal, being the you know, master, they didn't know he was going to be a master then, But this is when they started realizing it. He said, but if one is on a cruise, there is no Aikido.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, so they made the Seagal rule.
So Seagal rule, if you're on a cruise.
So I always ask people when I meet them, are we talking Seagalian rules or are we talking like pre-Seagalian?
Like bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Because there really is only Seagalian rules.
If and then the city rule is that if there's not an Aikido dojo within 30 miles or a $30 Uber trip, whichever comes first,
correct,
then you don't have to go.
Yeah.
So but you can't purposely go to cities where there's not those.
It has to be a surprise to you that they don't have one.
You can't look it up. Yeah. You have to pack your shit anyway.
You still have to have it.
Yeah.
What I love about this is that he was like, listen, I don't even know. I don't know what the rule is surrounding training while you're traveling, but all of this is to lead to the bullshit of I don't want to pack it. It's not the actual question of, hey, I want to know how many of you guys actually train while you travel. It's crazy. It's justify me not packing my heavy bullshit to go train.
He's wanting people to go like, fuck that, I don't train.
Yeah, I'm on vacation.
This is how a priest feels when he travels to a new city. Do I have to go to the diocese?
Fucking sermon.
Do I have to pack my collar? You know how much space that backwards collar takes in the luggage?
Holy shit, you can't even bend it without snapping.
Yeah, come on. Okay. Oh, let's read the unwritten rule. Read that one.
As someone who has gone to Japan on vacation without training, the Aikido police didn't notice.
Yes, they did.
Now we know.
Just found out now, dog.
Now we know, motherfucker. We were never BJJ guys. Computer fell.
Okay, he says, when I do train when traveling, this guy's sacrilege. I bring a super lightweight karate gi in my belt. No hack. Takes up some room, but not an insane amount.
So he's rocking a karate gi and not a hakama.
What would happen if I went to Aikido no gi? Just went in with a rashi in board shorts.
I want to say that they would probably be, as a guess, they would be less offended at that than bringing like another uniform. You know what I mean?
We should start no gi Aikido. I bet it would be a huge hit.
Yeah, probably would.
No gi Aikido.
Because you don't have to do anything.
No Aikido. We could do the CJI for Aikido.
No Gido.
Yeah. We can do it.
We could add it to the fucking schedule, dude. I'll teach
like it.
Who knows? Who cares?
This other dude says, on the unwritten rule, apparently more people know about this rule, I get the opposite vibe from my community of practice. I'm the crazy one. Oh, this is a backwards compliment to himself. That loves training so much. I'll seek it out wherever I go instead of relaxing for a week like you chumps. I guess it definitely depends on your peers and instructors. On the travel, when I'm limited on bag space, I'll just email the dojo I'm looking to attend beforehand and mention, hey, I'm limited on bag space. Is it cool if I practice in active wear? If they say no, then by all means, that's cool. I'll take a break this week. I ain't packing my shit. The same applies when I put the dogi in, but I don't feel like practicing the hakama. Yeah. These guys would go crazy if they had to wear like a double weave jiu-jitsu gi or a judo gi.
I bet you that dude jerked off to 11 upvotes. He's like, so that was worded so good.
These dudes are into the lightweight karate gis.
Hell yeah.
What if I traveled for gi jiu-jitsu with a lightweight karate gi? And
lightweight rashi.
If anyone comes into like gi in a gi jiu-jitsu class with a karate gi, that guy's going to catch it, dude. That's an immediate. Yeah. There was a guy who came in to Ronin Jiu-Jitsu way back in the day, and he was like a Japanese Jiu-Jitsu guy. Mm-hmm. And he'd wear these funky gis and try to do these shit on us that didn't work. And we just butt fuck him, dude. Like, we'd run that dude every time he came. What?
It's a funny way to say it. Butt fuck that dude every time I come in. That's funny.
Okay. Let's get. Is any more topics?
Yeah, I got one more from jiu-jitsu that I could pull up.
Let's catch it.
Just because at our school we've been focusing on wrestling up and standing up.
Show it.
I'm kind of speaking because it's lagging on me.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just killing the dead air, man. Trying to be a good producer. Anyway, is there any benefit to being able to stand back up? r/jiu-jitsu. I've been asking that for 3 weeks. It's jiu-jitsu. Why can't I just stay down here? I'm semi-new to jiu-jitsu, but used to do MMA pre-apocalypse. Took a beginner class at JITS recently, but work took me away for a while. I've signed up with their membership now that I have more time, and I'm wondering, is there any benefit to being able to stand up while being grappled. My friend has been doing jiu-jitsu for a while, and the class is relatively advanced. Most people have been there at least a year. I'm a former heavyweight lifter. Thanks for ruining that, COVID. And working on getting it back so I have got a decent strength advantage at least. So my question is, in most grapples, if my opponent doesn't look my legs, I can usually just stand up. Is there any way to use this to my advantage other than shock value and making instructors laugh?
This is like, I don't know if this is a gag, because Craig Jones has a whole like instructional called Just Stand Up.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes me question this guy's.
Yeah, me too, but I saw that I'm semi-new to jiu-jitsu. That's what I was like, is he serious? Like, is there a benefit to standing up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course there is.
Duh. There's a big benefit to it. Like, yes. So the answer to your question is yes, there's a huge benefit to it. What I wonder what does Reddit say?
I also come from MMA before getting into proper BJJ, and yes.
Proper BJJ. That's a new drink Connor's selling.
Yeah. Proper.
Proper.
Yeah. If I escape a bad situation, I will stand back up. People sometimes look at me funny, like, where are you going? But I think it's beneficial to reset the tempo. Lots of times when I escape, the other person may be able to get right into another sequence, but if I stand up, it's a total reset. And then the poster said resetting is perfectly valid.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that this was a thing that people consider. Like, hey, yeah, stand up. You also, every fight starts standing up. I mean,
I don't understand it.
This was more confusing than funny to me. This exchange.
Maybe he's talking about a gi school where they don't wrestle. Wrestling in the gi is like not wrestling because the connection's so sticky. It's quite a bit different. You know, the scrambles are way different. They're slower. It's easier to control your opponent and stick them in positions with the jacket. It's easier to choke them. They have that damn belt stitched into the gi top, hanging around their neck.
Like you said, they've got ropes in their sleeves.
Yeah, they got hoist. That's what I thought.
Hoist ropes.
I thought Hoist was using a rope to choke people in UFC 1 too.
This guy is sick. Derek, is that you? Derek Lewis. I just stood up, and then his bowels was hot.
Yeah, I mean, just if you can stand up, you know. I spent the last 10 years playing the bottom game. I'm just now starting to understand the benefit of standing back up instead of staying down. Space equals options. Well, yeah. Listen.
Yes, correct.
The fighting there's two fighting positions in jiu-jitsu. It's standing and guard. Where all guards, any kind of guard. Anything where there's a guard and you could mount effective offense and the top player can mount effective offense on you as well in the form of trying to improve their position and pass. That's a fighting position. You're both going back and forth.
Yeah.
Once somebody gets to a pin, side control, knee on belly, mount, back control, turtle, ashi, the options drastically change.
Yeah.
For one, they're very one-sided. There are some subs you can get from those bad positions, but, you know, they're not high percentage. You don't see a lot of buggy chokes. You see a small amount of people doing 80. You see 20% of the guys doing 80% of the buggy chokes. You know what I mean? And then the rest are failing at it.
Yeah, there's a reason that not everybody in 10P, for instance, in this example, can do like a Hindulatine. You know?
Exactly.
Like it's there, but is it?
Right.
For most people?
Yeah.
No, not for me, certainly. This is what I like, and it kind of leads into the 8 positions that you teach as a sort of thought experiment. If your takedowns and throws are better than your opponent's, then definitely.
Well, all standing is passing guard from your feet.
Correct.
That's the way people need to think about it.
For me personally, I am better at throws than I am at passing conventional guard. Not that I can't do either. I mean, certainly at my level I can, but at the low level that I'm at, I mean. But I'm better with the throws leading to positions that I want versus dealing with somebody who has got an amazing guard but kind of not so good stand up.
Absolutely.
It's my preference. So I'll stand back up just to see if I can get a better chance at it.
I think that's where pure wrestlers struggle, that they can generally get a takedown and they could win a tournament on points with that, you know, at least at the lower levels. But not every wrestling takedown lends itself to a great position while you're on the ground.
Yeah.
And judo's the same way. In competitive judo, they expose their backs all the time, like consistently on those throws. Just to get ippon, they'll turn their back and sandwich their opponent onto the ground. You wouldn't do that in jiu-jitsu. You get choked.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you'll get re-rolled and then choked. So It's quite a bit different, especially no-gi, because there is more room for wrestling, except you're not wearing shoes.
Yeah.
So your shot's not going to be as dynamic. You're not going to generate as much speed and as much force. You're not going to be able to drive as hard.
Yeah, the difference in thrust in shoes or no
Totally
shoes is
different.
crazy.
Totally different. And your grip is different too, because if you snatch up a single and you're holding the end of that boot and it's in your armpit,
That's yours.
That's yours for a minute. It's much harder to slip out.
They can have that when you're done with it.
Yeah. So it's not as easy. And I think no-gi, the spacing is much closer. So you have to be better at making contact, hand fighting, collar ties, 2-on-1s, arm drags. That's where the game is played, and the takedowns change based on where you're going to put your head and how you're going to land. Because you want to land in a pass or in a chest-to-chest position. You don't want to land in close guard.
No.
You don't want to land in maybe butterfly, but better if you don't have to pass.
Yeah, I would rather perform a sacrifice throw where we're both landing in a scramble versus landing in any kind of guard situation.
Yeah, especially against some guys, like you really don't want to be there.
Mm-mm.
Now, I feel like no-gi passing has borrowed a lot from wrestling, top control.
Yeah.
Gotten quite a bit better, which is a pretty cool thing to see. A lot of the breakdowns and breaking people down from turtle or one knee up to their hip has gotten so much better.
A lot of dogfight stuff too.
A lot of dogfight stuff. So there's a lot of new things that are coming into no-gi jiu-jitsu that don't exist in gi jiu-jitsu, or they're not as deeply developed. But there's also a lot of refinement that's coming from gi jiu-jitsu that didn't exist in no-gi, because the transition, the grip game transition, it takes time to learn how to transition some of those gi passes over and learn how to do them with different modified grips. But the pathways are very deep in gi jiu-jitsu. They go super, super deep in the levels and the options you can run. And I feel like some of that's starting to show up in the no-gi world. Like the adaptations are being made. Why? Because there's like a 100x increase in the amount of people doing no-gi jiu-jitsu compared to 10 years ago and compared to 20 years ago.
Yeah, it basically has no choice but to develop.
Yeah,
there's so many.
Everyone's fucking doing it now. So it makes sense that it's going to grow in that direction. So. What else? Oh, I wanted to make sure I tell you guys about our Patreon. So we set up a Patreon for Inside BJJ. It's patreon.com/InsideBJJ. You get all of the backstage content. So before every show, we have like a pre-show kind of setup. We record that. It's 20, 30 minutes. You get in on that. Who knows what we're going to talk about? Mostly it's show planning. You kind of get a behind the scenes look, but like today, we had a conversation about something totally different.
Yeah, we're just digging around.
Yeah, so you get that. Also, we got tons of technique videos that are uploaded already. I've filmed over 100 of these already. I got tons and tons coming. Every week, we're loading them up to view. And then, and the way I'm these techniques that I'm teaching, I'm not trying to be like, these are my techniques that I invented. Yeah. Some of them are very specialized to stuff I do, and some of them are just things that I teach my students that I think are good. So you could just think of them as curated. Here's the shit that we do. Here's things that I think are important. You might like it and use it, or you might not like all of it and use all of it, and that's okay, because not everything's for everybody. Yeah. But there's lots of tools in there,
and it's more bang for your buck for the Patreon.
Yeah, and I feel like
that's got nothing to do with the podcast. And if you join, then it's you have access to all. You have access to. Why not?
And I think what people kind of don't, that are listeners, maybe don't get. Some of the listeners I've actually done jiu-jitsu with, and they know that I actually can do jiu-jitsu. But
really,
I have a black belt in the gi. I have a black belt from Eddie Bravo, 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu. So
rad.
Been training for 20 years. I've had multiple schools, hundreds of students. Like, I'm not the best at doing jiu-jitsu. I'm not the best competitor in the world or anything like that. But I feel like I have some pretty good insights that can help people understand the game and learn it. And that's a lot of the stuff that I show in the techniques and the videos. Yeah. So,
and from an outside perspective, I am your student, I am your friend, so I'm a little biased, obviously, but you are so humble that you don't talk about that ever. You don't ever leverage that kind of shit. But in reality, anybody listening who, I don't know very many people, it's a short list of double black belts.
Yeah, it is.
It is a short list. That's the reality of it. So you have a lot of insight to be able to give. And for me, being able to have that all in one spot is pretty rad.
Alex Harrington said PGF is November 3rd.
No 3rd?
Through the 7th. I think it's the 4th through the 9th, actually. when I look at my calendar.
One of you is wrong.
Well, the 3rd. Oh, yeah, it's the 3rd through
You suck.
the 9th. The 9th is Friday's the last day.
Friday's the last day. November. I got to start looking at taking that time off.
Yeah. So anyway, check out the Patreon. It's $5 right now. I just lowered the whole subscription to $5.
Oh, you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
you get weekly online access. So we're filming classes every week here. I throw those up. We're gonna throw the one that we did tonight up.
Yeah. Film that.
I'm putting together some footage that I took on my trip. I took some personal footage too for the Patreon. So I got to get some of that edited down. There's a lot of footage. I've been super busy. I just hit the ground running when I got back home on Monday. So,
And as far as the show or the gym, you guys, I want to be as interactive with you guys as possible. So if there's specific stuff that you want to see, I'm in the process of taking a little bit of time off of actually training, but I'm still going to be in the gym. So if you want to see something particular that Tim does filmed, tell me or tell Tim.
yeah,
And then I'll film it.
I'd love to do that. And then we're going to be throwing up the San Quentin Escape series,
Hell yeah.
which I think is something very unique
Dude.
to what I do.
I love it. You know, I preach the gospel on San Quentin. I use it all the time.
I've done a handful of seminars on it. I taught it up at Matlock Jiu-Jitsu. I taught it out at
Shout out Turtle.
Yeah, shout out Turtle at my buddy Ruben De La Riva's site, school out in North Carolina at Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu. Taught it down at 10th Planet Decatur at BMAX Place. Taught it out at 10th Planet Sacramento with Albert Tapia and that crew. So I've showed it, and I have a lot of my students have seen it and have picked it up and use it and do it, which is really frustrating when you guys do it back to me because I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But it's very effective. Look, I'm 46 years old. I'm not going out there and competing. But I can say that I've used these techniques against all ranges of belts, from white to black, and I've had success with them. Now, I'm not saying it works every time against the best guys, because it doesn't.
No, nothing does.
But nothing does. But it does work.
Yeah.
So there's some cool shit in there. I'll be putting that up as well.
I have been able to successfully do this.
Hey, Kai, what's up? Yo. Kai is our homie from the other side of the pond from the UK. Yeah, we met him out at PGF Season 6.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's good to chat with you, dude. All the deets for PGF are on our bio at PGF World.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
PGF World on Instagram.
So, hey, I uploaded a couple videos I want to show you. I want to show you a clip of Sunday open mat with the madness that was going around. And then I'm going to show you a clip from our pre-show. So this is 10th Planet Las Vegas Sunday. We're doing the show, or we're just getting ready to do the show. So you get a shot of the studio and you get a shot of everybody rolling. So let me cue that up right now. How was your lesson, man? Was it good?
When your heels like this, that's when you can get archery, but look how much
That's awesome.
Isn't that wild,
That's
dude?
packed.
It's packed, dude. Luckily, when they saw us that we had Andy Varela on our side, if you get Andy on your side, you get the whole room on your side.
Oh, good.
If Andy's not on your side,
You get
fucked.
stabbed.
You're fucked, dude. You're like,
Andy
he's
will kill
going to
you.
send his little youth goons after you, and they're going to run you out of the gym,
Minions.
dude. His little level black goons, dude. They're going to take their shirts off and flex you out of the gym,
Yeah,
dude.
I prefer to be on Andy's side.
Like those smart-ass 9-year-olds.
Yeah,
They're gonna
but they can actually kill you.
yeah, they're going to talk shit to you and run you out.
Varela's awesome.
And then this next one is a bit that we did at the end. So we did a raffle where people entered into the raffle, and then we assigned them fighters, randomly assigned them fighters in the brackets. And then if their fighters won, they won the prize. So we had these handwritten on poster boards, and we had names X'd out. And then at the end, we would hold up the poster board in front of the camera and, hey, this person won. And we acted like, oh, they beat this person in the quarters, and we kind of walked through it. That was the gag. And so I was feeling extra gaggy. So I thought you
Ben Man, congratulations to you. You are the winner of a Future Kimonos prize package. Congrats, sir. Back to Tim. Got credentials.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, that's, oh God, Jesus, thank you. Yep, no, we're good. 80, no, we're still, we don't have those anymore.
26 ADCC.
Oh, wow. People are already selling their
Wrong
ADCC
one.
tickets.
Oh, here it is. This is the 65 kilogram plus division won by Miranda Yost. Congratulations, Miranda. You got a great gift coming from Future Kimonos. Miranda fought hard. Actually, not that hard. She had a bye in the first round, or maybe not. I can't tell. She took out Kelly McCarthy in the semis and beat Travis Hinn in the finals. Never trust anyone with a poultry name, so she walked away with the victory. Miranda Yost, congratulations.
You like that?
She fought hard. Well, not that hard. She had a bye, but don't trust anybody with a poultry name. I like that. That's really funny.
I just read Travis Hinn, and I first want to say, who has a last name of Hinn, dude? Like, wouldn't you be kind of upset a little bit, like if that was your last name?
Yeah.
But
That's too funny, man.
Yeah.
You guys look like you had a lot of fun. I saw you selling those ADCC tickets. So that's nice. It was nice of you to do.
2026. No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna load up one more. I had the chance to interview Pat Downey,
Okay, that's cool.
and so we're out in the walkways looking for people to interview, and we're just hustling, dude. We're just hustling, we're jamming, and we're just like, grab somebody. And I'm looking, and I see Pat Downey, but it doesn't register in my head that that's Pat Downey. And so he walks up, and I'm like, hey, we're doing a show, blah, blah, blah. Can you do like a 3-minute interview? Won't take long, just in and out, some quick questions in and out. He's like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. It's uploaded. It'll be up in just a minute here.
Okay.
But it dawns on me during the interview that this is Pat Downey. And I give a reaction.
During the interview?
Immediately, like right in the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
And I react a certain way, and then he reacts a certain way to my reaction. And his reaction to me when I caught it was like, oh, shit.
You didn't know who I was.
Like, this guy might fuck me up right now. But I'm just goofy enough in my disguise and demeanor that I think I got a goofy guy pass.
Okay.
You tell me. By the end, I think I had won him over.
Oh, okay.
I think I could be his
You
friend.
believe that, or you want to believe that?
I believe it.
Okay.
I think he would be okay with me. I think he thinks I'm just goofy enough that I'm
Not a threat.
not a threat at all. Not in a white jacket. Nobody in a white jacket's a threat unless they got a tranquilizer, and they're gonna like knock him out. So, but he was a great sport. Most everybody was a really good sport.
That's good.
And
You said more so on the CJI side.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just is what it is.
You couldn't even get near the athletes at ADCC.
Yeah.
They weren't walking
sucks.
around too much.
Yeah.
Jet Thompson won the ADCC Youth Tournament on Friday.
How many children's dreams did he crush?
The guy's choking out men. I think it's
You
time
know,
for Jet to.
I know we joked about that with him, but I was only half joking. He's wild.
We got an interview. Egg got an interview with him outside, and Jet was like, "I'm coming for CJI."
Oh, sick! I would love to see that.
I'm telling you, man.
I would love to see
telling
that.
you, dude.
Jet's awesome.
Give that kid 5 years, and everyone's gonna know who he is.
Oh yeah,
He's a stud. Just
Yeah, he
remember, Jet, that we love you. We had you on the podcast.
please.
We bigged you up.
Yeah, he's nothing but nice on the podcast.
Nothing but nice.
So funny. Savage family.
Oh my gosh, savage family. His mom's a brown belt.
Yeah.
His dad's a purple belt.
And then one boy that doesn't train, right, and just takes a ration of shit from
He
everybody
just
else.
gets his ass whooped.
Is that right? One of the brothers doesn't train
I think
anymore.
so.
Anyway, that's funny.
He's like, I just like coloring books. I don't know, man. I wonder if Jet is a menace at home.
Gotta
Just
be.
like I'm gonna.
If I were him, I would be.
Okay, let me cue this up here. Ready?
Beautiful
This is-
backdrop too. He had that Oklahoma sunset in the back.
Yeah, that was pretty.
That was pretty
dope.
sweet.
He's a real. You could tell he's a real.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, he's a
cool.
good. He's a red ass dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me show this.
Hey, we're here live at CJI. What's your name?
Pat Downey.
Pat. Nice. Pat Downey in the house. Hey, what was your reaction on that last match, dude?
Wait. Did you see it? You see the look he gave me?
Yeah.
You see the look he gave me when I grabbed him? He gave me a look.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, one more time.
It looked like he thought you were going for underhooks.
Yes, it did. He wasn't about to give me an underhook.
Hey, we're here live at CJI. What's your name?
Pat Downey.
Pat. Nice. Pat Downey in the house. Hey, what was your reaction on that last match, dude?
That was sick, man. Fan friendly. That's what you want to see when you're talking about grappling.
In a match like that, I mean, you want to win, but if you lose a match like that, you don't really lose the match.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Your stock doesn't go down, right? Yeah, for sure.
How tough was Rockhold last night?
I give him like a 7.
A 7. He's a pit 7.
Yeah, he's a pit 7. Maybe he's MMA 8 or 9.
Last question. Did you practice with the pit wall, or did you just say, fuck it, I can get this?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have any 45-degree angles being put up in any of the gyms, man. We just treated it like a normal, you know, if I can take you down on a regular wall,
Yeah.
I can definitely take you down on a slant.
Yeah,
you know what I
easier,
mean?
right? Easier.
Right? So, we didn't modify our training for this, no.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, Pat.
My pleasure.
All right, man. Have a good one.
I think you did win him over, but at first I think he's gonna fucking.
He's gonna fucking lateral drop me or something. He didn't like me getting an underhook, and he didn't like the hug, like the.
He doesn't look like a hugger.
He didn't like razzing. I got right into space, dude.
Yeah.
But he warmed up, I think, by the end.
Yeah.
So good on him.
Good for you. Yeah, good on him for sure, but good for
I'm
you.
a double black belt. Let's get murdered by Pat Downey in front of the corn dog stand.
I'm a double black belt. The broken man on the floor
Yeah.
seemed to say.
Oh, you are a wise guy. You trying to get fresh with me?
Trying to get fresh with Pat Downey. No, thank you.
So overall, great trip. Had a really freaking nice time and ran into a bunch of Inside BJJ fans.
That's awesome. You were saying that before the show.
Man,
Patreon.com.
sometimes you forget that there's people that actually listen to the show the whole time.
Yeah.
From a long time ago, and ran into a lot of those dudes, and that was pretty cool. And got to run into some cool friends. Got to see David Telfer, who I don't think he owns anymore, but he used to own Inouye's gi company. They made gear and gis and stuff. Bought gis from him for years for our academies when we were running gi programs. It was awesome to see that guy. I hadn't seen him in a while. I met him through Ben Kovacs, the founder of Guardian. And I saw David in the crowd, and I had that moment where you're like, God dang, I recognize that guy. But
Yeah.
and we made eye contact, and it was like that, yeah, we know each other. And I'm like, my brain did the RAF, like, and I'm like, oh yeah, David Telfer. So it was really cool to see him. The other funny thing is when Raph had a meltdown is the first day we were there really late. We left like 1 a.m. And on the way home, Raph's like, oh shit, I think I left a camera bag outside in the front. We're like, fuck. At 10P Las Vegas, there's like some action kind of moving around late at night. I wouldn't say it's dangerous, but there's, you know,
Yeah.
night walkers. You know what I mean? Just people
Yeah,
that are out at
for sure.
night, dude.
That's Henderson.
If you don't live in a community, like not every community's like this. Like where I live, Franklin, Tennessee shuts down at 9 p.m. Like
I didn't know that before I moved. I mean, most of Tennessee, most of mid-Tennessee is like that, other than downtown.
Other than even lots of parts of Nashville, after like 9 or 10, it's fucking closed.
Dude, first couple weeks that I moved here, I don't dislike it here. I enjoy it here quite a bit.
Yeah.
But Mariah and I would look for like a sandwich or something
luck.
after 9 or 10 o'clock just because we're night
Can't
owls.
find it.
Nothing's open except Waffle House.
And Drake's is open till 1, which is good
For
to know.
last call, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you can go get something late there if you're hungry. But outside of that, there's nothing.
It's a one-horse town. Yeah.
I'm used to, like, Stockton's not a huge town. It's like almost 400,000 people in it. Not tiny, but not huge. But it's open all night.
Yeah.
There's shit going on. There's night people that they're not awake in the daytime.
Mhm.
They live night. They live the night cycle of life.
That's how she and I were. Yeah.
So Las Vegas has a bunch of people like that they do their shit at night. They go out. They're out all night doing whatever the fuck they do. So we're like, dude, one of these fucking night walkers is gonna find this fucking
Night
thing,
walker.
take it.
Sounds
So
sounds like a slur.
Raph just pulls the car over, dude, and is like, "Oh no, I think I left the camera back." And he does the like meltdown Raph thing real quick. Just it deeply internalizes it. Like he sucks it all the way down and then like farts it out his asshole or something, dude. Boom, we flip a Yui. And Kevin's like, "Nah, I'm pretty sure it's inside. I saw it inside." We're like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, it was inside." So we get there and it's inside. And then Kevin goes, "Yeah, I didn't know if it was inside or not. I really couldn't remember, but
I just want to go to bed."
When I said it, no, we went back.
I'm sure.
Oh, we hauled ass. It was inside. We grabbed it, but that was quite funny.
That was funny.
So
I would
anyway,
have said the same thing just because I want to go to bed.
it was late. We went home at 8 and went to bed. Got up at fucking 7 in the morning. Cooked everybody breakfast. I cooked breakfast both days because I'm a mensch. And I get up early. I can't sleep all night. I can't fucking do it. I can't sleep in. I can't sleep till 8 or 9 in the morning. I can't do it. My back hurts. I'm just like, I got to get up.
So it's not because you're disciplined. It's just because you're old
It's because I'm crazy.
and cranky.
I'm like, when the sun comes up, I feel like if I don't get up, like I'm fucking missing it. Like you
I
gotta
get that.
get your ass up.
Yeah, I
dude.
get that.
Like there's like
I'm more productive at night, which is crazy.
I used to be.
I'm way more productive at night when it's nice and quiet and I know there's no threats out.
Yeah. When I lived in Stockton, we lived in a good neighborhood, but it was right on the edge of a good neighborhood.
Mhm.
So the main street, we could see it, the cross street. And then right across from that is a gas station. And there's some shops and stuff. And you could see them from my house. If you stood on the porch and you kind of looked, you could see it. And there was always action, and it would pass through the neighborhood constantly. So we were constantly getting our shit broken into. And our bedroom was right on the street. I just couldn't sleep. Sirens, gunshots, every week, gunshots, fucking constantly. It just all the time. So I was always on edge. I always had my gun up on the dresser, fucking listening. So I'd be up till 3 in the morning. Out here, I sleep like a baby, dude.
Yeah.
I go to bed. I don't hear anything.
Yeah. I had to get used to dudes rocking the fart car exhaust on their shit-bit Hondas that roll by my house at 2 and 3 in the morning.
That's annoying.
I see cops all up and down my road during the day.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found at night to catch these little pricks that are...
All the cops are in Brentwood at night. These Brentwood cops,
Oh, yeah, they
they
don't play.
hang out on Franklin Road at the churches. They just park.
4 or 5 of them just dicking around.
Just sitting there waiting for you to go by speeding.
What do you do? Or they're just dicking around.
Or not have your lights on.
Something.
Yeah. I drive very cautious.
Somebody told me they got pulled over for failure to signal at like 2 in the morning. Now, I'm sure that's just looking for drunk people, but it's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
That sucks. Yeah. That's
What are you pulling me over for? No one on the road and I just get in the left lane. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. That's not cool. All right, man. I think we've done well today.
Hopefully.
Guys, remember to check out Salt. Go to saltelectrolytes.com. Use the discount code INSIDEBJJ15. Make sure you subscribe to this show on YouTube. I don't care if you don't like it. Subscribe to it anyway. Leave us a comment. Leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify, your favorite, whatever. Hit these promoters up. If you want to see the Bullpen show, hit it up. Subscribe to the Bullpen right now. You got to go to Grappling Hour on YouTube. That's where we do it. We multicast Inside BJJ's YouTube as well every show, so it's available on all the platforms. Just it's on X. We live stream to Instagram. We live stream obviously to the YouTube sites. Just fucking subscribe to all of it, man.
Yeah, why not?
Just help us out. Like we're trying to build something unique, and we need the community to get behind it. If the community gets behind it, then everybody listens.
Yeah, we both, in our own ways, want to figure out how to do this more than we want to do anything else. So you guys would really help us out by doing that.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's good, man. Make sure you check out Inside BJJ. If you are in Austin, you got a chance. Maybe still registration's open. I'm not positive, but the 10th Planet qualifiers are PGF Season 7. 205-pound qualifiers are this weekend in Austin at 10th Planet Austin. And then they're coming up September 14th in Nashville at it's actually not in Nashville. I believe it's in Smyrna, but it's close to Nashville.
It's close enough.
One Nation Jiu-Jitsu out there with Cliff and Gio and the homies. Really great crew. We
Love
have
those dudes.
Great relationship with those guys too. Super stoked that they were able to do this. They got a great gym up there also. It's perfect.
Beautiful, brand new.
Brandon originally asked me to do it here,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to be out of town on the 14th, which sucks.
Oh, it sucks.
So I'm like, I tried to get him to move the date.
Mm-hmm.
I promised my wife I would go.
Mm-hmm.
And we've tried to schedule this 2 different times, and it fell through. So I couldn't get out of it.
Third times you got to go with the missus.
Got to go, man. You got to keep balance in your life. So
absolutely.
But I actually think One Nation is a really great venue to do it. It's
great
bigger.
people, great venue. Way less. I mean, they're great guys.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So
Good
we're stoked for that, and then sometime in Las Vegas after that, I think in the following month, it might be in September, they're going to do the last qualifier. My advice to you is if you're going to the qualifier, be exciting.
Yeah.
Even if you don't win, you have a shot at coming on as an alternate, and a lot of the alternates get in.
Yeah.
Guys get hurt.
We've seen that happen.
Be exciting. Show out. Don't be boring. If you're boring and you win, it's not good. Don't think of it as this is my record. When you go to the PGF, you're not defending your record. You're trying to earn points to win.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't get a sub, that's a loss. It's no different. So you got to get after it. You got to make a submission happen. That's my advice to you. After being there intensely for a week, watching the matches, seeing who was successful and who wasn't, the guys that took the risks were the guys that got the rewards. And the guys that played it safe, even though they could navigate through some of their matches, eventually they lost.
Yeah.
They got caught.
Was that old phrase, you got to risk it to get the biscuit?
You got to get that PGF biscuit, man, and you want that biscuit.
Fiery defeat was way better than a neutral win.
Yeah, for sure, man. People want to be entertained. If you want to make money,
they want to see wild shit.
You got to entertain the people, and you got to entertain a lot of them. And if you want to entertain a lot of them, you got to do wild shit.
Especially PGF. That's the one that you go have some fun, dude.
Go ham.
Go ham.
Yeah, it's going to be a great, great season. I can't wait to get back there, man.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we're going to do it for sure. So, all right, man. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Please. Sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/InsideBJJ. That's it. Thank you very much to Max Hanson. Thank you very much to Andrew. You want to play us out here, man? Let's go. Bang that music out. Let's get out of here, bud boy.
See you, boys.